Hi, my name is Logan Campbell, and this is my model of the oral cavity and the extrinsic muscles of the tongue. I constructed this structure from modeler's clay, wire, and built it around a cup in order to hold the structure into place. So the first structure I'm going to talk about is the orbicularis oris muscles. They're here in red. They make up the lips and work to close and protrude the lips during facial movements, speaking, and swallowing. Next, posterior to the lips, there is an upper and lower set of teeth. The teeth have an important role in speech production as they serve as an articulator that can produce speech sounds when connected with the tongue, as well as directing airflow for certain sounds. Posterior to the teeth, you have the hard palate, which is here in yellow. The hard palate is comprised of bone and makes up the roof of the oral cavity and the floor of the nasal cavity. In the anterior portion of the hard palate is the alveolar ridge, which is a raised portion of the alveolar process and is a point of contact for the tongue for many of English's speech sounds. Posterior to the hard palate is the soft palate. Also known as the velum, the soft palate creates a passageway between the oral cavity and the pharynx. When the velum is raised, it allows for air to travel through the nasal cavity by creating a barrier. The soft palate is here in purple. Also located within the soft palate here in green are the two fascial pillars. The anterior fascial pillar is home to the uvula, which is the only intrinsic muscle of the soft palate. The two fascial pillars also trigger the gag reflex. Inferiorly to the soft palate is the tongue. The tongue is the most important articulator and has the ability to constrict airflow, control speech sounds, and change resonating characteristics. The tongue is here in blue. The first of the extrinsic muscles of the tongue is the genioglossus, here in orange. It runs from the inner part of the mandible to the tip and dorsum of the tongue and runs inferiorly down to the hyoid bone. It contracts the anterior fibers in order to retract the tongue and draw it forward. Next is the hyoglossus muscle. This muscle runs from the hyoid bone to the lateral margins of the tongue. Its main function is to pull down the sides of the tongue. It's here in pink. Connected to the lateral margins of the tongue as well is the styloglossus muscle. It connects to the styloid process of the temporal bone and elevates and retracts the tongue. The final extrinsic muscle of the tongue is the palatoglossus, which connects from the first fascial pillar to the lateral margins of the posterior tongue and elevates the back of the tongue. Thank you so much for watching. These are all the parts of my model.
Thank you so much for watching. These are all the parts of my model.